had to bring on the program somebody who's perhaps the last word when it comes to weight loss medication in the country. Dr. Amrish Mittal is here with us in the studio. Thank you so much for joining us, Doc. A lot of information that you saw there in the explainer actually comes out from his book that he has written, which is very well researched in the Indian context of GLP-1 drugs. Before I start, Dr. Mittal, can I ask you number one question?
Yes.
How many fit, clinically not obese or fat people are walking into your clinics today and asking for weight loss drugs?
That's a great question to start off, Sonal. There are two aspects to this. We certainly have people who don't fit the category, for using drugs, who are requesting for these drugs, who are not in the BMI zone or in an unhealthy zone where they require them, but they want to do it purely for cosmetic reasons, a couple of kilos here and there for a wedding.
There's
or
a beach
a
wedding
function.
coming
Yes,
up,
yes.
or there's a photo shoot and I need to look perfect.
Yes. So those, definitely, those are there. But it's very interesting, on the same day, in the same clinic, we see people on the other side. People who have a BMI of 33, maybe they are 95, 100 kilograms. But I don't want to lose weight. My diabetes is controlled. Everything is okay. And the person says, but I've always been like this. And the partner will say, of course, he's always been. Doctor, weight is not a concern for us. So it's very interesting how the human mind and perception is. On the same day, we see people who are at 26 BMI or even 25 BMI wanting to become slimmer. A 52 kilogram lady who wants to become 48. And then we have these people who are like clearly overweight and suffering because of that. But because the numbers look okay, the sugars look okay, blood pressure looks okay, they say, we don't want to lose weight. Is it really important?
खाते पीते घर के लगते हैं.
खाते पीते घर के लगते हैं.
हम ऐसे ही हैं.
But especially the partner also says, but he's always been like this. I said, what was he when you got married? No, that is different, of course. Then he was very different.
Got it. So it's a double whammy then.
Yes.
There are those who are going after this miracle drug, as many are calling it, who don't need it. But those perhaps who this is meant for are staying away. What can be done then to ensure that the right kind of people come in? I ask this question because now these drugs are becoming way more cheaper. They currently cost about 30,000 a month. In just about a year's time, by 26, once the generics sort of come in and pills sort of come in, they will come down to just about 3,000 a month. When we look at a scenario like that, how will you ensure that the right usage actually happens?
I think that's important. Firstly, the cost is already down because they're both marketed here. So it's still expensive, of course, but they are between 13 and 20,000 a month, typically. So that's one. They're not 30 anymore. So that is one. The second is that this is exactly what we're supposed to do, provide the right information to people. Let people know that if you're overweight, if you're in the obese zone, especially if you have comorbidities like diabetes or heart disease or even kidney disease, you really do need to lose weight because that really matters in your long-term outcomes. So let me give you an example. If you lose weight, you're reducing your risk of developing diabetes. If you have diabetes, you're improving your diabetes control. And if you're not well controlled, you get better control and you certainly reduce your risk of complications because of diabetes. So those are the benefits. The challenge is, as you said, that people who don't really require the medication are asking for it, and there it requires regulation. It requires the right kind of doctors, and I'm so glad you said that you should go to a specialist or an endocrinologist because, truly speaking, you need someone who can advise you on the pros and cons properly and not just prescribe the drug to please you. I think that's also very important. So like with every drug, when used for the right person, they are exceedingly useful. They're exceedingly helpful. But if they are used for the wrong person, they can have side effects. And one quick line I'll add here, the problem is that if everyone is using them, those who don't need them, where they're not indicated, if they are using them and then they get side effects, the drug gets a bad name. And it's publicized in the media, and then those who need them, they stay away. Oh, I don't want to take that drug because I've heard it does this and that. That is the challenge.
I'm so glad you brought in the issue of side effects because every day without a fail, I see posts by nutritionists these days, people who are advocates of good gut health, talking about what long-term impact of these weight loss drugs, GLP-1 drugs can have. on your liver, on your kidney. On the same day, I also see a lot of reports on the miracles this drug can really do. So one is really conflicted on this. What is the right approach to take on these drugs?
Well, that's the reason for writing this book. The reason is that there is so much misinformation out there, both ways, that we need to be very careful. These drugs are undoubtedly a huge scientific advance. No one can take that away. They have changed the way we look at weight, we look at diabetes, we look at heart disease, we look at kidney complications and even liver. So these drugs are actually very beneficial to our organs. I mean, clearly the risk of heart attacks, for example, or cardiovascular events comes down by more than 20%.
Yeah.
The risk of fatty liver, I mean, you just squeeze out the fat from the liver. You know, these drugs do that. Progression of kidney disease. So there are huge benefits. But there are possible side effects. There is no drug developed ever that doesn't have side effects. Even the daily aspirin that you take could have potential side effects.
Yes.
But those side effects have to be monitored. You have to be prepared. One are the common daily side effects, which are the gastrointestinal side effects. Some reflux, some nausea.
Yeah.
Some people hate it. Some people don't even notice it. Even vomiting sometimes. Some people get constipation and diarrhea. But the good part is these are mostly in the initial stages and they wane off. Over a few weeks, they gradually decline.
So I think
and
the
patients
key
are comfortable.
here is that this is not a drug that can be self-prescribed. The key here is you need to know when to start, how much to have, and importantly, when to stop. And if those are not followed, you could go on the wrong path. So extremely important that if you are even considering, first go back and save the video, understand if you're fat or not, and only then get on this, and then go meet an endocrinologist and let them take the informed choice on whether or not they are meant for you. So much more can be spoken about this, and Dr. Amrish Mittal's book is also out. You can also read that out to get more information. Thank you so much, Doc, for joining us and taking us through all those lovely details.